client. And at the bottom of it all are the core presence words like joy, like peace, like equanimity, fulfillment, you know, whatever it is, everyone has a word for it.
Yes, yes.
Someone sorry?
I'm very surprised that what you describe is something that I trained into, but we call it the journey.
Oh, really? Oh, yes, I've heard of the journey. Yes.
And that's a very similar where you ask where in the body are you feeling this and what is the message and connection with source, and then you get in the bottom when you fall through all of the layers of emotions, then you come to your essence, which is joy and love and peace and limitlessness. So that is when you have that feeling of awakening, right? When you actually experience that you don't have, well, when you experienced the part of you that doesn't die, that's not really, that lives on after your body stops working, basically, the limitlessness, the connection to God or source or the universe, whatever you call it. So yeah, I'm very aware of it because I use that a lot. I mean, I trained as a medical doctor and as a coach, but once I found the journey, I really thought like I have all the puzzle pieces together, because I can do surgery on people, I do spiritual healing, but the missing piece in the middle was the emotional healing, and getting the emotions to talk to you, what needs to be healed here, and what's the message. I love that. How long does a session take when you do it?
I'm sorry?
How long do your sessions take? So it's one-on-one?
Yes, it's one-on-one, and it depends on the individual. Some people who come are meditators, and you know, usually it is a meditator. If it's not a meditator, it'll take up to 2 hours or many more sessions. If it is a meditator, it's usually about 2 hours.
Yeah, it's the same with what we do.
At that point, they reach a point of awareness. They're awakened to this beautiful feeling that they've never felt before. They have felt it in different places, actually, but they're not aware that they felt it and that they can be that as much as they want to be, basically, and it's their choice.
Yes.
And so once they feel that, we do meditation to ground them into that feeling. And then they know how to do it the next time. Because what happens is they leave the session and it's great for, you know, a week, 2, whatever it is. It could be a month. And then something happens to just knock them out and, you know, lose touch with that feeling of full awareness that they are and that we all are. And that's actually how we're all one. That's actually how we connect to each other, through our breath, through that feeling of joy, peace, love, whatever you want to call it, equanimity, you know, the Buddhists call it. And so then we learn how to get back there. So that, you know, if you have the tools to get back there, then you can do it in the middle of a crisis.
Absolutely. So how did you change from being, I guess you trained as a traditional psychotherapist, and when did you start doing this kind of work? How did you discover it?
What a wonderful question. Thank you for asking that. I was working for Ministry of Health, pretty wonderful job, looking after 45 addictions treatment agencies. And, you know, discussing with CEOs, their project plans, their budgets, and so on. So I love the job. But something inside me said there's more, because I'm a very spiritual person and have been since, well, for a long time. Never had any religion, but very spiritual. And so a friend of mine said, let's go down to Los Angeles and let's go to this person called Ramana and go to what's called a Bodhisattva training. 2-week process in August 1998. We went together and we are both awakened in this experience, and never the same again. In September, I left my job and I said, okay, I'm going to bring this awareness to everyone. And the reason for that is that way back in 1991, I had heard a radio show on my way to Buffalo. I visit my son in Buffalo, sit listening to the radio, and Doug Henning came on, who's a teacher he's a magician whose teacher is Mahesh Yogi. And
wow.
They were working on a huge theme park. And this theme park was going to awaken the awareness of, you know, as many people as they could get to a level of, well, you've heard of the 100th monkey effect. You've heard of what it takes for a critical mass of people to have that level of awareness so that they can influence the world to have all the awareness that, you know, we all need to lift us all up to a place of peace. And this is what had been on my mind since 1991. We've been having World Peace Festivals at High Park, you know, to create that level of awareness. And I needed to move myself even higher. And so this awakening in 1998 really led to that. And I wanted to bring a greater level of awareness out into the world, one person at a time, if possible, groups. But so far, it's been one person at a time.
That's awesome. Wow. And so do you need like one person per 100 to influence 100 people? Is that the figure, more or less? To raise the vibration of our society, do you need one person amongst 100 monkeys?
What a wonderful question. I love that. You know, somebody asked Eckhart Tolle, how many people does it take to save the world? And he said one person. But according to, and that's because we're all linked, you know, so if that person's vibration is enough to be that critical mass, then that person alone could do it. However, we find out that really, because there are over 7 billion of us, it takes 5%, anywhere between 1 and 5% people have guessed, to make up that critical mass, which is called the 100th monkey effect. You know the story about the 100th monkey?
Not really. Can you tell me?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Yeah. A group of scientists were doing a study in Japan, the islands of Japan, and they noticed that the monkeys were washing their yams in the water. Actually, before that, they noticed they were eating their yams dirty. And then one monkey took its yam after it fell in the water and ate it. And it went, oh, wow, this is really great. You know, I like it washed. So after that, the monkeys followed suit. And they all started washing their monkeys. Now, they all started washing their yams. Now, when there were enough monkeys who learned to wash their yams on that one particular island, they noticed that the islands around them in Japan were also, the monkeys were also washing the yams. So the monkey consciousness took hold, and they all started washing their yams, and that's the critical mass. They gathered. It was about 100 monkeys that were needed to attain this.
Wow, that is a really cool study. I mean, I believe in it, but I never knew that actually had some form of a scientific study that shows this effect. That's great.
We can Google it.
Even like, I also like the scientists that have proven the connections between all the trees and how they found like that trees have a very slow heartbeat. That's why we've never heard it, because it's very, very slow.
Wow.
Yeah, and they also connected, they communicate. I mean, I knew this from a long time already, that if one tree gets ill that's out of the forest, the other trees will also start losing their leaves and stuff like that. But
Yes.
yeah, more and more, because science becomes more delicate, we can pick up on more things that were considered maybe supernatural or something, because you couldn't prove it. A lot of science people want proof that they can see, but now we have finally found equipment, so we can see things. We can measure vibrations, for instance, of people and objects. And I mean, that's why I love science as well as being very spiritual, because they're coming closer together. Which actually, I don't know whether you know this book that I wrote, My Surgeon Talks to Angels. It's a journey from science to faith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around, isn't it?
Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
That's
Yeah,
me.
that's wonderful. I love my angels too. I love the angelic kingdom. Yeah. You know, in the morning with my meditation, after each meditation, I bring in the angelic body. I don't know if you've heard of the angelic body and the angelic kingdom that download
Yeah.
their angelic body to us, and it's such a wonderful feeling. I love it.
Yes. I often work with angels every day. Like, I ask them to make my day go smooth. So that this is one of the courses that I teach, is how to make every day joyful with the help of your angels. Joyful and easy, because I send them like ahead of me to make sure there's like no traffic problems, and only patients that I can help, and that are the right match for me. So if I do that, my day goes very smooth. If I forget to do that, then I arrive and I think like, oh no, I forgot to send my angels ahead, and then everything is so much harder, and like there's a lot of stop and start and obstacles that have not been removed that day. So yeah, this is
Wonderful.
yeah, it's one of the things I teach people also, to be very productive in your day, because I kind of visualize, I mean, I kind of prepare where I want to go that day, that all the